All right, we back at it.
I want some rest. Are we having fun yet?
All right, guys, we're doing it again, in which I ask you guys, hey, is there any questions or topics you want me to discuss? Then you answer back. So yeah, so I always ask Patreon and YouTube members if there's anything you want me to talk about. And yeah, I typically make a video about it. And I have to say, Jeremy Sohan's multicolored haircut, my boy, you're absolutely killing it. Like you're destroying the competition. You guys get your game up because he's asking a lot of questions. Not only that, before we go ahead and segue into this, really quickly, I'm gonna do something, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start making t-shirts. And I already talked to some designers and everything, some graphic designers, some artists, and I have some really cool concepts for some t-shirts. So just be on the lookout for that. I don't have a timeline on it, but once it's up, once the shop's up, or once I like get some more equipment, so I can, because I really want to do it at home. So once I get everything ready, I'll let you guys know. I might show you the design beforehand, maybe do pre-orders. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but just be on the lookout for that. It's something that I'm really excited about because I wanted to do it for a while, and I got some ideas. Okay, and the stuff we talk about, man, it's gonna be dope. All right, so let's go ahead and dive straight into this. This is the one I want to answer. I don't even know if you guys can see it, but yeah, Jeremy Sohan's multicolored haircut says, can you make multiple tier lists? One of the tier lists is shooting tier lists, and I'll probably do one of the other ones as well. I really like these. But yeah, let's just dive straight into that. So we're gonna do shooters. All right, so I did some categories here of, hopefully you can see all that good. Pure shooter, great shooter, good shooter, okay shooter, and poor shooter. Okay, so this shouldn't take that long to do. I'll try my best to explain why I put them in that category. Now statistic wise, I didn't look up every single statistic for every single player, but I do remember a little bit as far as like why I would put them in those tiers. But yeah, so just disclaimer there. All right, let's dive straight into it. Starting with Jokic. Oh my God. Jakob Poeltl. I think I'm gonna put him pure shooter. Guys, obviously he's poor shooter. Okay. Jakob is not a good shooter whatsoever. I would give him a little bit of leeway if he was a good free throw shooter, but he's not. He's a very poor free throw shooter, so I'm not gonna give him that. So yeah, he's gonna be in poor shooting. All right, now we have our boy Joshua Primo. You guys might not like this one. Okay, some people might take contention with this. I'm going with pure shooter. Now, obviously, throughout each category, even those are going to be basically numbered. I don't think, especially looking at this team, I don't think he's the best shooter out of everybody, but he's definitely going to be up here. Okay, I'm going to put him in pure shooter. Let's do these at random. I'm not going to go one by one. Let's just do it random. Keita Bates Diop. Keita? I don't know how to say it. I'm going to put him in okay shooter. He's not a poor shooter. He's all right. Percentage wise, I think it's pretty okay, like around 30% as far as from 3-point line. He's okay. Look, it's more for the eye test for me. Bates Diop, he does a really good job at being a catch and shooter, and he'll hit some where you're like, whoa, I was not expecting you to hit that. So I'm gonna go with okay shooter, and he more than likely will be at the top of the okay shooters category. All right, moving on, we're gonna go ahead and do Isaiah Roby. I'm going to go ahead and put him in great, especially when I looked at some of the things that he did for OKC last season. I think he shot 44% from three, which is very impressive, and he got even hotter as the season went on and they asked more of him. So I'm gonna put him in great shooter category. I guess as it goes, we'll see if he's the #1 great shooter or if he's like farther back great shooter category. Moving on, let's see, let's do Dom Barlow. I don't have enough information on Dom, and we haven't seen enough games. I'm just going off the Summer League alone. In Summer League alone, I'm going to say good shooter. I'm going to go with good. Only because I think that he did a really good job of picking his spots. He didn't do anything that he felt was outside of his scope of what he could do as far as shooting. Didn't try to make any crazy shots or anything like that. I know I'm kind of rambling when it comes to Dom because there's not a lot on him yet, but I will say that I like his shooting form. I think that he has a lot of potential there, but I'm gonna just keep him in good right now. Okay, so he'll be the first one we throw in good. All right, moving on.
I got the COVID vaccine when I was in my second trimester. When I was deciding whether or not to get the vaccine, I weighed risk versus reward.
Okay, I don't know what that was. All right, moving on. So next, let's go ahead and do Zach Collins. Okay, So when it comes to Zach Collins, I'm kind of gonna do his based on like the position that he plays as well. I'm gonna go ahead and put him at good shooter. I'm gonna put him in good shooter. He has a lot of potential. Even his outside game has a lot of potential. And on top of it, actually, I'm gonna do a little cheat sheet. I want to see what is Zach Collins' free throw percentage, because that's actually something I don't know. Let's go ahead and glance at it. Let's see. Free throw percentage is about, yeah, so about 75, 74. And I'm not gonna count this. Wait, actually, sorry, I was going the wrong way. 80, about 2.3. Yeah, this is what I was expecting. So yeah, he's a good shooter. If we see 3-point percentage 34, it's like 49% field goal percentage. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with I don't know why I thought this was opposite, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with a good shooter for him, and that was about what I thought. Sorry, that's the only one I'm gonna cheat on. Okay, that's the only one I really didn't remember, like purely didn't remember. Okay, now let's go with Romeo Langford. He hasn't shown a lot, and I don't want to necessarily throw him in poor because I don't think that's fair, but he doesn't attempt a bunch of threes. Even when he was with the Celtics, he didn't. Percentage is just you know. I'm gonna go with okay shooter, and I'm gonna put him behind Diop only because we haven't really seen much yet. Okay, I just don't think it's just not enough. All right, moving on. Let's go with Joe Weezy. Joe Weezy, I absolutely love him as a shooter. He has a great form. Now, obviously, we haven't really gotten to see his quick release that he keeps talking about, keeps alluding to, that he's been learning with Chip. So I don't know. I want to put him in pure shooter because I think that will be worthy. He will be worthy of that. But I'm actually going to go ahead and make him number one right now as it stands in great shooter category, just until we can see that release that he's talking about. Because as it stands right now, he is a really good shooter. That's what he does basically. He's a great shooter, great form, everything, but he has to speed it up a little bit so he can get it off in NBA talent. So NBA competition, that is. So moving on. Let's go with Keldon Johnson. I'm also going to put him in great shooter. If you asked me early on last season, I would have put him in good shooter because he didn't perform well earlier last season. But as the season went on, he became an absolute monster with the shot. I don't have enough confidence to put him ahead of Joe Weezy, especially since he's like a shooting specialist. Like that's what he's going to do. But as far as Keldon Johnson's concerned, and being a shooter, yeah, I'll put him right here. Okay. But moving on. All right, let's go with Trey Jones. Trey Jones. He doesn't take a lot of threes at all. We can go back and look at his stats. I think it's pretty poor, especially from three. Field goal percentage is decent, so he's a decent mid-range scorer. It is really hard. I'm gonna put him in okay, only because I'm gonna give him one more year before we start like saying, oh, he's a poor shooter. I'm gonna put him behind Romeo Langford for now. I just don't see a lot right now, and we're just gonna have to wait and watch his game a little bit to see if he add more shooting, mid-range and three-point shooting to his game. But as it stands right now, mid-range shooting, he's pretty decent. Three-point shooting, but you know what? You know what, guys? I'm gonna put him ahead of both. This is all live. These are all live thoughts, okay? I'm putting him ahead of both because I just thought about something. His free throw percentage is really good, I believe. Like it's really good. Actually, let's cheat a little bit. Trey Jones, I believe it's really good. Let's see. But he only attempts about one. Never mind. I was right before. See, you never second guess yourself, guys. Never second guess yourself. All right, let's move on. Okay, let's go with Blake Wesley. I'm gonna go with, right now as it stands, I'm gonna go with good. Now, as far as where I would put him, he still struggled a little bit. I think it'll be kind of disingenuous to put him ahead of Zach Collins right now. I'm gonna put him behind Zach Collins right there. And yeah, he has a lot to work on as far as his shot. Now, he had a few instances in the summer league which he did get hot, or it was a really nice shooting stroke But as it stands right now, yeah, most people would probably say okay shooter. But I'm going to go ahead and go with end of good. All right, McDermott, McBuckets. I'm going to go with ahead of Primo. Yep, I'm putting Doug McDermott ahead of Primo. He just, it would be disrespectful not to do that. Okay, Doug McDermott is a phenomenal shooter. Been doing it for a very long time, and that's his bread and butter. He can shoot basically anywhere on the court. Really quick release, professional. Rarely gets blocked on his shooting attempts. He's just the full package as far as what you want to see from a shooter. So he is a pure shooter, and I'm gonna put him ahead of Josh Primo there. All right, moving on. Let's go with Devin Facel. Okay, so Devin Facel, this is more so the eye test for me. I'm gonna put him ahead of Keldon Johnson. Okay, now this isn't me going off statistics at all. It's just the eye test when it comes to Devin Facel, because he is a really good shooter. He's a great shooter. He can be a little inconsistent at times, which is fine. You know, it is what it is. He's young. Okay, but as far as his shooting form and everything, I think he's a pretty great shooter, and he really showed that in the play-in. All right, now this is what I want to talk about. Okay, well, actually, let's get Josh Richardson out of the way. Josh Richardson, I'm gonna go with good shooter. I don't think that needs much of an explanation. I'm gonna put him ahead of Don Barlow. Oop, can I? There we go. Just put him ahead of Don Barlow. I think that just makes the most sense. And I don't think that needs much explanation there. All right, let me go with your boy Jeremy Sohan. You guys know I love me some Jeremy Sohan, okay? I really do, okay? But with that being said, we haven't gotten to see him in the NBA. We haven't gotten to see him in the summer league. And when it comes to Baylor, his shooting percentage was like 29%. But his catch and shoot was pretty decent. I think his catch and shoot was somewhere in the 30s. Not bad whatsoever. He also has a really nice mid-range spinning shot that he does quite often. That's kind of his go-to move, but it's also pretty inconsistent at times. I don't want to just put him in poor shooter. It's like I want to put him in okay, but man, oh man, I'm gonna put. I'm sorry, Sohan. I'm putting him ahead of Jakob as far as poor shooter. Okay, he's ahead of Jakob at poor shooter. He has so many other things to his game. Okay, he's super versatile. Defensively, he can guard 1 through 5. He can take the ball down the court. He can find open teammates. He's phenomenal. Okay, but poor shooter, yeah, he has to be. All right. Malachi Branham. I'm gonna go ahead and put Malachi as far as shooting form, as far as his release, as far as just everything that I've seen thus far. Not only him at Ohio State, but with him with the San Antonio Spurs thus far. I'm gonna put him right here. Okay, I'm gonna put him right here. I just don't want to disrespect Doug McDermott. But I do believe that Malachi has a slightly better shooting stroke than Josh Primo. And yeah, Doug McDermott has just proven way too much as far as his shooting ability. But Malachi, just from what I've seen, his shot is just beautiful, bro. It's as pure as you can get. So yeah, so this is my tier list. I hope you like it. Let's see, which ones are probably, let me go ahead and try to get on the comments before you guys comment. Let's see. What are you going to disagree with? You're probably going to be a little angry with maybe the Keldon Johnson one, maybe. Probably the Blake Wesley one, not completely sure on that one. I don't know. Some people might say Trey Jones, poor shooter. I don't know. That's a hard one. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how you guys feel about it. But anyways, if you guys want to support the channel, only $2 a month, Patreon and YouTube links below. Until next time, man, get with you later.